Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Anna, and this is a new angle. In this channel, we talk about books, what I'm reading, what I plan on reading, any other thing related to books. So before I start today, I wanted to do some housekeeping, I guess that's how we say it. So don't judge. It's Saturday. I'm in my sweats. I live for days like today when I can just sit, read. I have nothing to do this morning. My husband's out. The dogs are sleeping. It's a very cold, cloudy day out there, so it's perfect to sit and read. And that's what I plan on doing. So I wanted to get this video up and ready as soon as I can, so I can just sit here in my little spot and keep reading my books. So today what I want to talk to you about, another housekeeping thing. I did not read anything from the Federalist Papers last week. I got so into Brothers Karamazov last week that I could not put it down. I'm on page 483. I'm about halfway done through the book, and it got really good right about chapter 5, which is the chapter I want to talk to you about. Book 5, chapter 5, which is the chapter I want to talk to you about today. I don't know really why it hit a nerve. Backstory on me: I was raised Catholic, Portuguese. I think every Portuguese person is raised Catholic. Never really went to church, but was raised Catholic. My mother was raised in the church, so I was raised Catholic, but we just never went to Mass. We did once in a while once we came to the United States. So I am familiar with the church and what it teaches, but I wasn't raised in the church. However, and I don't know if this is something that happens with people as they get older, but it's become more and more important to understand the relationship between the religious world, the spiritual world, and the atheist world. I don't know how to phrase it, but it's been on my mind, and that may be why this particular chapter caught my attention. If I sniffle a little bit, I don't know if I'm coming down with a cold. I don't know if it's the weather, if it's allergies, but I do have my tea, and I will be sipping once in a while. So anyway, long story short, this particular chapter, Book 5, Chapter 5, The Grand Inquisitor in Brothers Karamazov, hit a nerve, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it. The book started getting really good at the point where Alyosha and Ivan meet at a bar, and we start learning more about Ivan. I think some people say Ivan. I believe the Russian pronunciation would be Ivan. So I may interchangeably call him Ivan or Ivan. But anyway, in that book, Book 5, we meet Ivan and Alyosha come together. As I'm sure all know, Ivan is the brain. He is the brother who is very much data-driven, very focused on reality, in my view. And Alyosha is love. He is a monk. Well, he lives with the monks. I'm not really sure from the book if he is one of them. So those two minds come together, and Ivan begins to explain to Alyosha who he is. And at one point, the question of, do you believe in God, comes up from Alyosha to Ivan, and the answer I think that he gives, and I should have marked that quote because I understood it. Ivan says, I believe in God and I don't dislike God. I just don't like the world he created. And I don't know about you, but it's true for me. And so that book was the reason why I couldn't put the book down. So in the Grand Inquisitor, Jesus comes back to earth after the crucifixion and after all of that and disappearing. Jesus comes back to earth. Oh, and backtracking a little bit. This is a poem that apparently Ivan wrote at some point. And he's telling Alyosha about this poem to explain to him how he feels about both the church and God, Jesus Christ. So the Grand Inquisitor starts with Jesus comes back down to earth, and people recognize him. He performs a miracle, he heals a child, people are praising him, and down the steps from wherever Jesus is doing these miracles comes a priest, and he's the Inquisitor, and Jesus gets arrested and thrown in jail. And the next evening, the Grand Inquisitor, so the priest, goes and meets with Jesus in his cell to explain to him why he's been arrested. And he tells Jesus that after Jesus left humanity, after he was raised up to the Father, the church had the burden of fixing the problems that Jesus created. So he explains to Jesus that Jesus gave people freedom and love, but he left them with nothing else, and he expected too much of people. People can't live from love alone and from good deeds, right? So the Inquisitor tells people that freedom terrifies people. To have the freedom to choose between right and wrong and good and evil and what to do. Most people don't want that. Most people want to know what is it that I need to do? Just tell me so I don't have to think about it. And I'll do it. I will do it. But I don't want to have to make that choice. And that's what the Inquisitor is telling Jesus, that you give people too much credit. That they don't want that. They want choices made for them. So he tells him that the church had to fix that problem, had to fix that mistake that Jesus created. And in the quote that he uses, he says, the church fixed your mistake. We took away their freedom. We gave them bread. We gave them miracle and authority. And now they are happy. Because from too much choice comes depression and confusion. And the Inquisitor's telling Jesus, that's what you left them with. You left us with the problem that we now have to fix. Don't you come back here and do the same thing again. We finally got them, the people, to where we want them. So the juxtaposition of the Inquisitor and Jesus, you feel Jesus is peaceful, sitting, listening to the Grand Inquisitor's explanation. He says nothing. He doesn't say a word. He never defends himself. Because to Jesus, love is the most important thing. And that's what he left us with, love. To Jesus, it's enough for us, the people, to know that no matter what, we are loved. No matter what choice we make, we are loved because we will be forgiven. And honestly, looking back and thinking about it and talking about it, I'm not sure that I agree. I'm 100% sure I don't agree with the Inquisitor. I mean, come on. I think people deserve a bit more credit than he's giving us. But I don't know that we are capable of achieving all that Jesus expected of us. And I don't know that that's the point, right? I don't know that we are supposed to achieve that, right? Because then we would be Jesus. So that chapter left me with a lot of questions. And in the meantime, looking at all those questions, thinking about all the things that chapter has left me with, I'm now looking for books on religion, theology, philosophy, and I'm trying to understand better. I have never read a book where I'm not even I'm halfway done with it, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to reread this because I am sure there are so many things I've not understood, and that perhaps after reading it, I will understand them better. I marked some quotes that I wanted to leave you with that show the conversation, that are quotes from the Inquisitor to Jesus that really struck a chord. So one of the things he says to Jesus is, for the secret of human existence does not consist in living merely, but in, For the secret of human existence does not consist in living merely, but in what one lives for. Without a firm idea of what one is to live for, man will not consent to live and will sooner destroy himself than remain on the earth, even though all around him there are loaves. So another quote from the Inquisitor is, in respecting him, man, so much, you acted as though you had ceased to have compassion for him because you demanded too much of him. And yet, who is this? The very one you had loved more than yourself. Had you respected him less, you would have demanded of him less, and that would have been closer to love, for his burden would have been lighter. And that's what the Inquisitor is saying about, you expected too much. The reason they have not succeeded is because you set them out to lose. You expected too much from humanity. Here's another one. And what does it matter whether we are right or whether we are telling a lie? They themselves will be persuaded we are right, for they will remember to what horrors of slavery and confusion your freedom has brought them. So what he's saying is that for man, for humanity, it is better that we have the earthly things, the comfort, the food, we have everything decided for us, and that struck a chord. Is that really what we want? Is that really what humanity is craving? Not necessarily choice and freedom, but comfort. Because it sure seems that way lately, right? So I cannot wait to get back to this book. After this video, I will continue. I am on page 483 now. It's book 8, and Mitya is on his way to get some money so he can pay Katya. We still don't have the murder, and I can't wait for the murder. That sounds so morbid. But the other thing I also wanted to tell you is, in the meantime, I did pick up 2 new books because I was thinking that maybe I am now carrying this big thing back and forth from work in my bag. And between this and my computer and my work planner and my lunch, it's a lot on the train. So I thought maybe I would read something else, a smaller book. Maybe that's what I could read on my commute, but I don't know if I can do that. I know that there are quite a few of you that can read 1, 2, 3 books at a time. I'm afraid that if I start, I won't pay attention to either one, or I'll get confused with what's where. And I really like to enjoy my time with my books. And that's why you were never, ever, sorry, my legs fell asleep. And that's why you are never, ever going to see me do a wrap up with more than 1 or 2 books, because I don't read that fast. And I have no idea how some of you do it. I totally envy you. But so I picked up The Stranger by Albert Camus. I never read any Camus. Looking forward to it. This is a very short novel. Sorry if you hear my dogs, but they just started barking. It is 123 pages. Definitely easier to put in my bag. And then I picked up, sorry, the dogs just keep barking. And then I picked up The Secret History, Donna Tartt. I don't know why I never read this book. I thought I had at one point. So I don't know. Which one should I pick up? And maybe you can tell me how it is that you can read more than 1 book at a time. Also, I will have to read Federalist number 8. In the meantime, if I don't post Federalist number 8, I do have a Substack where I write my reviews. There is a review of this, I believe it was the Grand Inquisitor, a little write-up on Substack. I'll leave my Substack name. It's also A New Angle. Please go visit me there. I I do write up some reviews of some of the books that I've read and some of my thoughts. It's more of like a random stream of consciousness type newsletter. And yeah, that's it for today. I cannot wait to just sit here and read and not have to worry about the dogs barking. And I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye. Have a great weekend.